Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Today, I would like to speak about spiritual awareness as I have promised. And as far as spiritual awareness is concerned, I feel that the experience varies from person to person. How we perceive it and how we are evolved to look at it and learn from these experiences defines where we move forward from here and each and every day. Spiritual awareness starts from the first time that you start to begin to from the time you begin to understand there is something different about your life, and it does not seem to align itself. Initially it would look abnormal, and sometimes it could even shake the very foundations of your belief, especially if you are more into any kind of religious faith, anything that has had you into a program in this realm. Spiritual awareness or spiritual awakening is a process that can take you into a completely different journey, or it can leave you wondering where you're supposed to move forward from here. Every single time you have a dream, a vision, or you feel a presence, any kind of supernatural occurrences, anytime you meet someone and you suddenly feel you know that person from another time, or you don't even know it's another time, you may think I know this person. Why do I feel that? Sometimes it could just be a dream, and that dream is so strong in its energy and its vibration. So when you wake up, it's still going through your mind over and over and over again, and you're wondering, why does this dream have such a huge impact on me? Or you could be busy, and there could be visuals that come to you out of the blues. Suddenly you feel that you're feeling something, a presence. It could be a thought that pops out of nowhere. It could be visuals, images that pop out of nowhere. Now, the first thing that you have to ask yourself, now a lot of us tend to ask, oh, is that my imagination? What is that? That is weird. That's never happened to me before. Well, you need to ask yourself this one question. Did I create it? Did I sit there and create it actively? Or did it just occur without any kind of voluntary action from me? If your answer is yes, then it's probably your imagination. But if it's no, you will know that this is more than what your physical senses can perceive to be as normal, or is considered and labeled as normal in this realm. There are a lot of things that happen to us on a day-to-day basis. Every single one of us has experienced a deja vu, has experienced some kind of unexplainable, occurrences around us. All of us. There will be a story inside all of us. But what you really need to understand is it's not as abnormal as people would like it to be. It's normal. We all have these spiritual abilities. So when that awareness kicks in, the spiritual awareness, there's two kinds of awareness. The first kind of awareness is what we go through when we newly awaken, which is the subconscious awareness. The subconscious awareness kicks open first, and you start to experience all of these things, and you're trying to wonder. It could be fear, it could be doubt, it could be anything. You might pass it off as your imagination. There are so many ways we cope with spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness. So the first part of your spiritual awareness would be in trying to identify or recognize, remember what it is, because you haven't really figured it out that it is indeed a spiritual experience. Now, the second kind of spiritual awareness is when you accept and acknowledge those experiences as a part of you, as a part of your life. Sometimes, most of the times, as children, we may have imaginary friends. And so these imaginary friends were back then very fascinating, right? They seemed all magical. But as you grow up, and then sometimes your parents say it or someone else says it. Oh, this is just your imagination. Stop imagining things. When you keep saying those kind of things, after a point of time, what really happens is you start to program yourself into what is considered as normal in this world. And that normalcy would actually, not shut down your gifts, but decrease the value, the frequency of your gifts, the power, the strength behind it. And you begin to program yourself into the normal category. Now, if your mission here involves spiritual work, if your mission here involves exploring your spiritual growth, then you will always be drawing yourself back to it. You will be drawn back to it. Your soul will always draw you back to it. But if it's not, then you will not experience it, or you may not feel drawn to exploring them again. So this is the difference between someone who has a mission that is aligned with your spiritual purpose here, as in light working or whatever that's concerned to related to it. But there are people who don't really need to do anything with it or need to do with it. So basically, how you deal with your spiritual awareness completely aligns with your mission here. So you do have a free will, and we all do have a free will in accepting or acknowledging our awareness or not. Out of fear and doubt, a lot of us tend to pass it off and prefer not to deal with it. But there are a lot of us who would want to deal with it because we feel drawn to it. As we grow older, we feel drawn to it. There's a time when we no longer really want to fill ourselves with just the labels that life puts us into, and we want to explore beyond that. And that is when you start to open up to this conscious spiritual awareness. So this conscious spiritual awareness can occur again at any age group depending on your soul's evolution. And when that happens, you will become more aware of all your experiences. You will become interested in your experiences and want to explore it further. So how do you deal with fear, doubt, and ego? These are the three common blocks that most of us face as we explore our spiritual awakening, the gifts that we have. We need constant validation. We're not sure if whatever we're experiencing is real. It could even be alarming. It could be very disturbing. It could even be totally off whatever your life has been manifesting into. It could be a totally different situation that stands out. So there are many ways you can respond to a situation depending on where you are as a soul. The maturity, the wisdom that comes with spiritual awakening in each incarnation varies. So if you had a spiritual awakening when you were much younger, your response to it when you were in your 30s and 40s would be much more matured, much more concise and specific than if someone was awakening in their 30s and 40s. So for them, it will be very confusing because by then you're so programmed into this realm that you will find it harder to accept these experiences. But then again, that is your life path, so you're meant to experience all of that. So in short, what you really need to do, if you ask me, how do I go about understanding what I'm going through in this lifetime with my spiritual experiences, these supernatural experiences? I would say, be open about it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, because this is not a subject in school. This is not something you buy in a store. This is not something you learn from life here. This is a gift from the universe. This is you and your opportunity to tap into your soul. Something that has lasted for ages. Something that has been gifted to you since creation. This is you. So embrace every little sign that comes to you. Don't doubt it. You have nothing to lose. If it's coming from within you, there has to be a meaning, a purpose. There has to be a strength that derived from it, and there has to be growth. So don't be afraid to explore whatever experience comes to you. Accept it all in your heart in grace, and believe that it's there for a purpose, and you do not have to be afraid or doubt or pose your ego against the universe. Namaste.